Let's continue moving on here to The Rock on the board of TKO. This came out of nowhere. I don't even fully understand how this happened.
Rock's everywhere.
Yeah.
Like in the middle of the night, The Rock is now on the board of TKO, which oversees UFC and WWE. And looking at it from that standpoint, it's like, wow, that's monumental because we know The Rock has been a blockbuster movie star. We know that he's tried to stay in the XFL, and now all of a sudden, now he's with TKO, kind of overseeing things for WWE, and it's like that's crazy to think. We already talked about the Samoan lineage in wrestling, and now it's at the top essentially, like literally at one of the
biggest. We say the head of the table.
Yeah, the head of the table.
That's what The Rock meant. That's what The Rock meant. That's what The Rock meant. He wasn't going to wrestle.
We don't know that.
He's not going
to wrestle.
We don't know that for sure.
And you sent me something, man. You sent me something about that. Remember, I think it's his daughter. His daughter's the GM.
Yeah, and his daughter is now the general manager.
Yeah.
Just named yesterday. Yep.
Yeah,
that's taking over everything.
That's insane, dude. It's just like it's Triple H's worst nightmare all over. Like it's like he just got the position. He got Vince McMahon out last year. And then he's like, okay, I got it. It's mine. And then The Rock comes in and beats his ass like he does always. It's symmetry. It's symmetry. It just goes round and round with him. I feel bad for Trips.
Imagine Triple H is just trying to do like, hey, I just want to run WWE creative and make this in a well-oiled machine. And then it's like, oh, that position you were supposed to get first.
Yeah, you know,
first get bought out. First of all, it gets bought out by a different company. They put you in charge of WWE here. The position that you would originally had now is essentially in The Rock's hands. It's like that's really tough. Like Shane McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, like all of them that were trying to vie for that spot, and it went to The Rock, and it's like, what the hell? Like,
you know what I found? Know what I found kind of funny because we talk about WWE throughout the years, and we can arguably agree that the '90s with the Attitude Era was the most popular era. And when you think about the Attitude Era, you think of D-Generation X and The Rock, who two of the pillars of that era. Now you got one of them as a board of directors. The other one is the head of creative, and the other one runs NXT. So when you think about it, two of the pillars of the Attitude Era are now running the entire company. It's crazy. When you stop and think about it.
I feel like next they're just gonna add Stone Cold as I don't know.
He might as well try to get it right.
Him and Undertaker are the other two pillars, so you might as well get them a job, do something with them.
Might as
They know the business, right?
Jesus.
I mean, I think I've talked about this on past shows where it's like WWE has so much money. Where it's like we can pay anybody to do anything. And I feel like that's a different avenue that we're seeing, right? Like they have Netflix now. And I've always talked about with UFC, they're more international than WWE, it looks like. They're able to touch Brazil, Japan, Canada. They're able to do these different things where it's like WWE might do a house show or a tour. Now it's so international, especially with the lineup next year. Backlash is in France, the Bash in Berlin. They haven't announced where SummerSlam is, but Money in the Bank is in Toronto. So it's like it's definitely getting different where there's so much avenues that WWE can take. And now The Rock is in charge of that. Brings another mainstream appeal to it. People like The Rock as an actor. People are going to tune into that, plug into that, checking when The Rock. When The Rock came back on, what was it? Monday Night Raw. How that just set the shockwaves on the media airways and stuff like that. So definitely another feather to add into the cap of The Rock. Now, is he positioning himself with this move to get one last match against Roman Reigns? Is my question. Is that what this is?
Unfortunately, I think that is the case. Because remember, WWE is not stupid. They announced all this the week of the Rumble. They did this for a reason. I mean, they literally could have saved this for next week as like a post Rumble announcement, but they announced it this week for a reason. So there's definitely strategy behind it. So.
Yeah, like the Rumble wasn't already hot enough. Now you got to throw all this out. You got a new deal. You got a new board of directors seat. Like, we all still don't even know who the hell's going to win the Rumble. It's like this. I feel like we've been hyping up the Rumble literally all last year, and now it's here. And
now it's like it's overhyped, right? Like,
now it's just like yo, what the fuck?
Listen, I feel like WWE is gonna just pull a huge swerve, put in The Rock at number 30. He's gonna win the Rumble, and then everybody's gonna be pissed because Cody didn't get to finish his story. And then The Rock is versus Roman Reigns, and then we already know that The Rock is not going to go over Roman Reigns. That's not going to happen. But
we're all still going to tune in.
You know what's going to happen? The Rock will win, and then Damian Priest is going to cash in.
I can see that happening. That would be great. That would be great.
Actually be okay with that. I'm not going to
lie. I think over the past couple weeks, with The Rock returning, CM Punk returning, and so much change and uncertainty, even with Seth Rollins and stuff like that, it's like I'm pretty much okay with anything that happens at this point.
Honestly, every wrestling fan should be, because think about it. If you're not going to get Cody, you're going to get The Rock. Think about it. It's a win. It's a win-win for everybody. It's a win-win for everybody. So there's nothing to complain about.
Or you can get Gunther, which we'll be talking about.
Gunther.
I like that one right
We'll be
there.
talking about actually right now. We can change course right now.
Yeah,
Sorry, real quick. Has The Rock won the Royal Rumble?
Yeah, he did. He won 2001.
Well, technically, 2001. No, he won it. But technically,
he won
his feet hit the floor first, so Big Show won that Royal Rumble. But they declared him the winner.
Technically, he won.
So it's tarnished. That doesn't really count. So
HBK's Rumble win too. Both feet touched. If you saw it,
actually, the replay showed one foot touched the floor. He actually was able to.
But I could have sworn that when he originally went, because I rewatched the Rumble. I know Dan put it in our group, well, in a different group, and I rewatched that Rumble, and I could have sworn when he went over the top, both feet initially touched, but then he played it off and like one-legged it. Yeah, so I don't know if that was the case, but nothing beats the disaster of John Cena and Batista. Nothing beats that Rumble. When this man went into the ring and tore his quads. How do you do that? You tear both your quads just sliding into a ring, and he tears them both.
Because he wasn't a wrestler at that time, and he should have went up the stairs and entered the ring like a regular person. That's why. Vince McMahon.
Did you see how Jack was at that time? He wasn't doing that.
Vince McMahon's a little tapped up there.
If you guys listen to Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard, that podcast, when he tells his version of that story, it's the most hilarious shit in the world.
Oh my God. I was dying.
It was like everyone stuff. His quads couldn't handle it.
He's like, everyone's just sitting there watching him like, what are
you had
doing?
one job.
Yeah, what? and he's literally there on the ring, on the ropes, like looking at both of them like, help me, somebody help me. He can't even get up.
My thing is just in that moment, it's like, how do you even? And Vince is a tough son of a bitch, right? Because
100%.
To get up and still stand on your feet after tearing both quads, it's like what? And Vince was like 60 at that time, so it's like insanity. It's insanity.
He's 80 now, so I don't know what.
Crazy.
Way to age us off. But we can continue moving on with some other Royal Rumble WrestleMania implications. Is Seth Rollins' injury? Seth Rollins came out and basically said he has a tear in his MCL.